The 2021 NFL Draft features a Heisman Trophy winning wide receiver, and he may not even be the best pass-catching prospect available. I spoke with some of ESPN's top football minds about the top playmakers at the wide receiver position and quite possibly the best athlete in this year's draft.
DeVonta Smith, the Heisman winner, Alabama wide receiver. When you look at the measurables, 6'1", 170 pounds. He's wiry, and everybody talks about his size being a little bit of a concern, but there's one thing we can guarantee. The young man will catch anything around him. What kind of impact could he have on offenses now?
He'll have immediate impact, Kel. And look, I'm not overly concerned about his size because when you break down film, he doesn't get jammed on the line of scrimmage. He doesn't have a problem getting to where he needs to get in order to make a catch. And he showed a high capability of making the 50-50 plays as well, which we know now in the NFL, as a wide receiver, that's really where you make your calling card. It's the tough catches. It's the balls that you can win when your quarterback is taking a chance on you just to beat the defensive back. He creates great separation. He has speed. He's a masterful route runner. It's just impressive, man. I mean, the one concern, obviously, is his size because he will be against bigger corners. He will have to go across the middle, but playing at Alabama, he showed a propensity to do all of that. He can run by you. He can stick his foot in the ground and come back and then get yards after catch, which I think is huge and something that needs to be talked about with these type of wide receivers that have that type of speed. Day one starter works his tail off and played for the greatest head coach in college football, so you know he'll be ready for the next level.
When we talk about the evolution of football, especially when it comes to the offense, Kyle Pitts is exhibit one, especially when you look at his size at 6'6", 245 pounds, that 40 time, a 4.4, and we're talking about a tight end out of Florida. How do you think that dominant game on the college level translates on Sundays?
I think it's going to translate really well. He's going to be that target that all these young quarterbacks who are still maturing can go to in a time of need. Being a tight end, he's going to control the middle of the field. So you don't have to have the alpha receiver that's going to be on the outside. A quarterback's best friend is a good tight end. Guys that can dominate the interior between the hashes. And how are you going to match up with it? Because if you put a linebacker or safety on him, he's going to be too fast. If you put a cornerback on him at 6'6", it's just going to be too much size on that cornerback. So I think defensive coordinators are going to have a tough time matching up against him. He said at his pro day, he thinks he can be the best tight end in the National Football League. He's got a long way to go to do that, but he's got the skill set, the size, the speed that whichever team gets Kyle Pitts, they're going to have a nice time diagramming plays to get him open, especially in the middle of the field.
Ja'Marr Chase, Boog, when I mentioned him, the LSU wide receiver, 6'1", 207 pounds. Listen, we know he's quick. We know he's aggressive. And then the 40 is a 4.38. Just how good is Ja'Marr Chase in your mind?
First of all, you need to think about the great receivers in the National Football League. Those guys that you don't have to scheme for, that you don't have to create motion for. You can put out there on one side of the field and say, hey, we're coming to you, beat your guys. So, first of all, comes to mind DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones, Keenan Allen, Michael Thomas. Those are what I call alphas. Ja'Marr Chase is an alpha receiver. When it comes to route running, there's not a route that he can't run. When it comes to the ability to make the contested catches, that we see DeAndre make with those huge hands, he can do that. And then if you say, okay, you just run a go route and run by a guy, but I need a 50-yard touchdown right now. I need a big play. He showed he can do that when he ran 4.3, not only at his pro day, but if you go back to the national championship game against Clemson, he just ran by some of the guys that were drafted in the upper echelon of the draft. So there's nothing that this guy can't do.
Is he the best wide receiver in this draft?
Yeah, it's not even close.
Kadarius Toney, the Florida wide receiver, when you look at the numbers, 5'11", 194 pounds. He's got that speed. He feels like a fantastic fit with the explosiveness, his size in the slot for any offense in the NFL.
When you see Kadarius Toney, I want people to think Deebo Samuel for the San Francisco 49ers. He's one of those guys where when offensive coaches go into the room and they putting the game plan together, they say, we got to get him 10 to 12 touches every Sunday because 2 or 3 of them are going to be very explosive. and potentially flip the field for you. And that's what he did for Dan Mullen at the University of Florida. They used him all over the field to create just space, right? We can throw a screen, we can throw a 2-yard route, and then let them do work. That's what people are going to love about Kadarius. And the thing, too, even for his size, he's a physical runner after he catches the football. Breaks a lot of tackles, quick change of direction guy. His short area quickness, his ability to catch the ball in traffic and find his way out of it is what's going to make him a great piece for an offense on the next level. And he's coming from an offense that is really pro style. So he'll have a great understanding about where he is on the field, working in between the hashes, working outside of the hashes. He is a north and south football player, and that's what every defensive coordinator before playing him would tell me. Don't let the quickness and the speed fool you. He wants to go north and south, and I think that's where he makes his calling card at in the NFL.
Elijah Moore, this guy is one of those wild cards here. The Ole Miss wide receiver at 5'9", 185 pounds. He can do a lot of things in the backfield. Also, you can move him around. When you watch the tape, what do you see?
A playmaker. I think he's that guy that day one you put him in the slot, you don't move him much, and you let him get matchups galore because he's so quick in and out of breaks. He's not big, like you said, but I thought his 40 time did him well because I didn't know if he was super quick or super fast, and now you know he's super quick and super fast. I just look at him being a slot receiver, highly productive. And again, he's a guy I think that you're going to get lower in the draft because there's so many playmakers, but he's going to be a playmaker. He's going to destroy and have so much success. I'm interested to see the run on receivers and how that works, but he's a playmaking Jesse. Put him in the middle of the field and let him work.
When you think of speed, you think of Waddle. 5'10", 182 pounds. He's also a fantastic returner. What kind of impact could he have day one with an NFL team?
Day one, he's going to be the speedster. He's going to be the screen guy. He's going to be the big play guy. I think this guy's different because I think Waddle's a true number one in the NFL. He's got better savvy. He understands how to run routes. He understands how to separate. I think Alabama did him some good favors. When you saw him in the past, he was just in the slot. Last year, you saw put him outside a lot more. He's freaky fast. He gives you that, oh, snap fear. Like, when I see him in the open field, I'm like, son of a gun, what the heck am I going to do? How am I going to get him on the ground? 17 touchdowns at Alabama, 44 yards a touchdown. That's almost half of a football field, for God's sakes. The only thing I'll knock him for is I don't think he catches the ball, crisp every time. It's not like a pluck, but it doesn't really matter because he creates so much separation. He doesn't have to make a lot of contested catches. And that's slot, inside, outside. He runs the crossers, the digs, but he also can run double moves like nobody's business. I think there's nothing he can't do, and I think he's a number one wide receiver in the NFL.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.